Hi everyone, I'm Neda Morakabati. And first and foremost, I want to thank all the donors to the Jared Roberts Award for making it possible for me to go share my research out in the world. I also want to thank Dr. Eitan Schechtman for his mentorship and all my friends for their support. When I was a kid, science was far from my mind as a field that I wanted to go into. Instead, what was on my mind was Edward Cullen from the Twilight series. True, very true. For people who don't know, Edward Cullen is a mind-reading vampire, heartthrob for many of us. And his love interest, Bella Swan, was the only mind that he could not read. I remember wondering what's going on in her head, like why can't he read her mind? Since then, I've developed an interest in the brain networks that are involved in learning and thinking in general. And with the work that I was able to do, we can say that where Edward failed, machine learning can succeed. So we use electroencephalography, EEG, which works by getting scalp electrode readings of your brain activity. Our goal was to create a task where we can use EEG and machine learning to get more insight into these brain networks. So we had participants come in, and they viewed a series of images and words from 5 different categories while we recorded this data. And using machine learning, we were able to tell what they were thinking. We were able to tell what categories they were thinking about. We actually were able to also tell that there are different brain networks that are active during the images versus the words, and that there are different regions of the scalps that give more or less information than the others for these images. So we were able to see that the areas around the visual areas back here gave more information for images compared to the other areas of the scalp. And when we did like a left-right analysis, the areas around the temporal regions on the left side gave more information than the right. So this work shows that you are able to use EEG and machine learning to look into these brain networks that are involved in learning and thinking, and that there is a reasonable amount of detail that we can see from these networks. This means that we are now the Edward Cullens of science. We are able to read into the minds of our participants, and more importantly, which I think is actually the biggest takeaway, we can finally figure out what was going on in Bella's mind. Thank you so much.